Hello, welcome to another video. This is Paul's British English, and today we've got some special guests. We've got my parents, so my mum and dad. My mum is called Sheila and my dad is called Alan. We're going to talk about the place where I'm from in the UK, in the north of England, because these guys know a lot about somewhere in particular called the Lake District, which is a very interesting place to visit. So I'm going to ask them a few questions and you can hear real, natural, spoken Cumbrian English, which is where I'm from. When I speak English, because I'm a language teacher, my English is Cumbrian but quite clear. My parents' English is more natural and more representative of what people really talk like in my hometown. Okay, so this is my dad, this is Alan.
Hello, I'm Alan.
And this is my mum, this is Sheila.
Hi.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Lake District. For a start off, what's the name of your town? Where are we from?
We're from Carlisle, which is about 9 miles south of Scotland.
Okay, but still in England?
It's in England, yes.
Yes, okay. And do you think that when you speak English, is your accent representative of a Cumbrian accent?
Yes, it is. Although some people have broader accents than us.
Okay, so by broader you mean bigger accents, harder accents to understand?
Harder accents to understand.
Okay, all right. So we're going to talk about the Lake District. So what is the Lake District, Dad?
It's an area about, it's almost circular, slightly deeper from north to south and east to west. And it contains, I think it's 8 major open freshwater lakes.
Okay.
Although, it's got mountains, or fells as they're known there. None of them are higher than 1,000 metres.
Okay, so it's kind of like an oval shape.
Yes.
And it's lots of mountains and lots of lakes. Okay.
Yes.
So why should somebody go there? Why is it so popular?
It's beautiful.
Okay, beautiful in what way? Beautiful like Switzerland? Beautiful like...
It's not, the mountains aren't as high as the ones in Switzerland, but it has its own beauty. Very popular with lots of people in England and from other countries. We get lots of visitors.
So which other countries did the people come from?
I met recently, it was raining, 2 Israelis and 2 people from New York on the same day. They were a bit lost in the mist, so I helped them off the mountain.
So what's the weather like normally in the Lake District?
It's occasionally you get a really lovely day, but mainly it is in between things. I try to avoid going when it's misty. I try to avoid going when it's particularly windy.
Right.
In fact, I don't go when it's windy.
So how often do you think you go to the Lake District?
I try to go once a week, and I will pick probably the least windy day of the week to go.
You do meet a lot of people from countries in Asia.
I do.
Okay.
There's
Which countries?
Japanese, Chinese. That's as far as I can recognise. And it's very popular with groups of people.
Okay, so if you were going to the Lake District, when would you go? What time of year is best? What do you think?
I think every time of year has its attractions. For tourists, probably during the summer, where the weather will be hopefully better.
More likely better.
Okay.
I prefer the spring and the autumn.
Because?
It's quieter.
Right.
You see a lot of sheep in the Lake District, on the mountains. They look as though they're wild, but they all have their own area of the Lake District that they know.
And who owns them?
Individual farmers own them,
Okay.
and they take them down from the fells when they're about to have their babies, so they can look after them near the farms.
Okay.
Mainly they're Herdwick sheep, which have a rough wool, and I don't think it's used for much, although I have heard it used in furniture.
So that's a particular type of sheep?
It's a particular type of sheep. They're bred for the meat.
Okay. When somebody goes to the Lake District, what should they take with them?
Waterproofs.
Okay.
And other equipment necessary for what they're going to do. If they're going to walk around the streets of Keswick, you'll probably still need waterproofs, but if you're going on the fells, you should really take some proper boots and maps, something warm.
Okay. So by fells, that's the Cumbrian word for mountains, yes?
Well, it is. They're not, as Sheila said earlier, they're not
Huge.
mountains by contrast with Switzerland or even Scotland for that matter, but they are more compact and they are probably scaled correctly with regard to the size of the valleys, the size of the lakes. Someone once told me it would make an ideal cover for a chocolate box.
Ah, right. So the way the Lake District looks like a picture from the inside of a chocolate box.
Or the front of a chocolate box,
Right.
even.
Okay. Could you climb the Lake District mountains wearing jeans, a t-shirt and trainers?
We have seen people doing that, but the weather can change very suddenly, so you have to be prepared and have the right gear.
Okay. And last question, what places in the Lake District do you think people should really see? What are your favourite places in the Lake District?
I like Langdale.
What's Langdale?
It's near Grosmere.
And is it a town or is it a valley?
It's a valley. It's a very twisty, windy road and very picturesque. And Grosmere is just a place I've always liked. There's a lake there.
And that's a town?
A village.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is smaller than a town.
What's Grosmere famous for?
William Wordsworth.
And gingerbread.
Okay, so you should eat gingerbread when you go there.
Yes, there's a special recipe there, and there's a little shop that sells Grosmere gingerbread.
Okay, what about you, Dad? What's your favourite things in the Lake District?
Well,
if you had to name just two.
Yeah, if I had to name just two, I would say, let's say it would be on the fells, and I think Striding Edge is interesting.
What's Striding Edge?
It's an edge created by glaciers during the last ice age, and it's quite sharp, but not compared to some other edges in Britain.
So it's a kind of ridge leading up to a mountain.
It's a ridge. It leads up to Helvellyn.
And Helvellyn is a fell, a very big
Helvellyn is
fell.
a fell, and it's the third highest fell in England. It's over 3,000 foot, but again, it is not 1,000 metres.
Okay, all right. So comparison, let's say, to a Korean mountain, that would be about the same size as Bukhansan?
The Korean mountains that I've seen, they often have a height written on the top of them. They're about the same height.
Okay.
I dare say some of them are higher.
All right. Okay. So you would say Striding Edge, which is...
And probably, I like Langdale, but I would go for, I like a mountain called Bow Fell.
Right. So that's at the end of Langdale.
It's off Langdale. It's about 900 metres, and you can easily get to the highest mountain in England, not Britain, but in England, Scafell Pike from Bow Fell.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that was my parents talking about the Lake District. The Lake District is in the northwest of England. It's an area of really beautiful countryside. So when you come to the UK on holiday, if you want to see the countryside as well as the cities, that's a really good place to visit. And you got to listen to some natural northern British English. If you like the video, please hit the like button. You can subscribe to the channel. Also, you can find us on Naver blogs and you can find us on Facebook. Thanks very much.